The future of Mac Marquette's murder case is now in the hands of a Morgan County judge. Marquette is charged with the on-duty shooting of Stephen Perkins outside Perkins' home in 2023. Over the past 2 days, Marquette's lawyers have worked to convince a judge he acted in self-defense and his murder case should be dismissed.
So tonight we have live team coverage at the Morgan County Courthouse, and News 19's Emily Mosner and investigative reporter Dallas Parker are following this closely watched case for us. Starting off with Emily, what happened in court today?
Well, Greg, Lauren, today we heard closing arguments from both sides in this case, and as you can imagine, we heard slightly different events about what happened the night that Steve Perkins was killed during a botched truck repossession. Now, prosecutors argue that Marquette did not behave like a reasonable officer should, but the defense says that he was justified in shooting Perkins. Now, today's hearing lasted just about 2 hours. The closing arguments wrapped up pretty quickly. The defense argues Marquette was scared for his life when Perkins turned away from the repo truck driver and pointed his gun at Marquette. And they say officers were there to handle a civil matter, and that is why they did not use their police lights or knock on Perkins' door when they arrived. The defense says Perkins escalated the situation by coming out of the house and pointing a gun at the tow truck driver. The defense said Perkins could have stayed inside, called 911, called the car company, or could have recorded the repossession on his phone. They say the breach of peace was caused by Perkins, not Marquette or the other officers. Prosecutors argue that it is clear that Marquette and the other officers were not there investigating a breach of peace or menacing, and they say no reasonable officer would help with a repossession. Prosecutors say that after the first attempt at the repossession ended with Perkins threatening the tow truck driver, any reasonable person would assume it would be the same the second time around. Prosecutors also argue that there was no way that Perkins could have known law enforcement was on the scene until moments before he was killed. Prosecutors say the case should go to trial. Now, the decision lands in the hands of the judge in this case. Now, he said he needs some time after today's hearing to review the evidence and the law before he can make a decision. We are not expecting that decision to come today. Now, News 19's Dallas Parker also in the courtroom yesterday. You were there for a lot of the testimony. So what were some of the key takeaways from yesterday?
Well, Emily, there have been lots of questions about how the officers acted that night and whether they acted correctly. The repo truck driver we heard from first, and then we also heard from officers Chris McAdam and Officer Joey Williams, as well as the lead investigator from the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, Jamie King, as to what actually took place that night, or their account, I should say. Community members for the first time got a chance to see some of the body camera footage from two of those officers as well. They also saw Aaliyah's interview with Mac Marquette himself, during which he said he fired after he saw the flashlight of Perkins' gun pointed at him. Prosecutors pointed out that Perkins' gun light was pointed toward the sky at the time Marquette fired his gun on him. Now, Aaliyah said there was also no bullet in the chamber of Perkins' gun. Of course, if you want to read a full account of what took place yesterday as far as testimony is concerned, body camera footage, as well as the courtroom atmosphere during the start of the immunity hearing, you can go back to our website, WHNT.com. But for now, live indicator, I'm Dallas Parker.
And I'm Emily Mosner. We'll send it back to you in studio.